B-Jump Sunset World.
Sushi.
Sumo. Tokushima!
この番組は地域密着型のボランティア活動を徳島で行っている国際ワークキャンプのメンバーがお届けする30分です。
This 30 minutes broadcast is hosted by volunteer members who come from abroad to help the community of Tokushima.
Hello, good evening everyone. We are your hosts for today. Hi, I'm Jimena from Costa Rica.
Hi, I'm Shannon from Canada.
Hi, I'm Mitch from Australia.
This radio program, Sushi, Sumo, Tokushima, is live on FM B-FM. This 30-minute broadcast is hosted by volunteer members who come from abroad to help the community of Tokushima. Popular images of Japan, sushi and sumo? Yes. But we would like people around the world not know only those images, but only things about Japan. They share the news about Japan and information about Tokushima, a place that welcomes foreigners from all over the world. No one knows what language will be spoken or what kind of topics they will bring up, so don't miss it.
Sushi.
Sumo. Tokushima!
Hello everybody, so today we have two guests, Shannon from Canada and Michi from Australia. So, I think you already know Michi from all other programs, but Shannon is new. So, Shannon, can you talk a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, I'm from Canada. Right now, I'm currently at university doing my degree in anthropology.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, really interesting. And is this your first time in Japan? Have you been here before?
This is my third time in Japan.
Your third time.
Yes.
I'm sorry, third.
It's
time.
okay.
Wow. So, where were you the other time? So, and when was it?
The first time I was 17, so 2015.
Wow.
And I went to Tokyo and Kyoto and then back to Tokyo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the second time?
And the second time I was in Tokushima, which was last year.
Oh.
And I was part of the volunteer group Hana Road, and I loved it so much.
Oh.
And then I'm back this time doing Hana Road again.
Oh, that's so nice. And Michi, as we know, he has been here many times already, so he can relate. So it's not the first time you're making Hana Road. So right now, I guess like it's really different from the first time, or is it like the same? Or how do you feel it's?
It is a lot better, to be honest. We have more people this time.
Yeah.
So there's always people to talk to, something going on. It's very nice.
What do you think, Mitch?
Yes, I'll just say thanks for being on the show again. It's great to be here. So this is my third time in Tokushima, and my first time was in December last year, December and January, so it was very cold. It was very cold. Okay. It was interesting looking after the plants every day with very cold water and wearing gloves and trying not to be wet by the water, which is like inevitable in our job. We always, when we leave just before midday, have lunch, we have like most of, like all of us, but some of us like me have our clothes soaked or wet shoes or something. So when it's cold, it's not as fun. But now it's summer. I can't ask for it sometimes.
I see.
It's pretty fun.
And you, Shannon, how was like the working? Was like the same you're doing now? Was the same month you came?
Yeah, I came in May last year, and I did the same this year as well.
Oh, I see.
So the weather was the same.
The same.
But it's a little hotter than the weather in Canada.
A little bit.
And it's hard to get used to.
Really?
Yeah, like, the humidity, the heat.
And I guess it fluctuates a lot as well. Recently, it's been, I would say, unpredictable, the weather.
Yeah, it
like
rains
a month ago, it was really hot.
Yeah.
And we were like, we're going to go for a swim. And then, like, within a few days, we were, like, cold and, like, wearing our jackets again.
Yeah, actually.
And it rained. So
and then it's humid, but it's
and
not
it's humid
cold.
again.
Yeah.
And like 2 days ago, it was raining. And
Yeah,
then
and
sunny, so.
yeah, we're like in a transition
Coming
period
to
right now.
the rainy season. So.
Yeah, so it's so good that you're enjoying Hana Road and the volunteering right now, and also you, Mitch. But let's talk a little bit more about like your experiences a little bit outside the Hana Road. Like, for example, you mentioned that you've been in Tokyo and Kyoto, and now you're in Tokushima. And like, what made you come to Tokushima twice instead of going, for example, to Tokyo, which is way
There's
like
lots of places to see in Japan.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what
Why
made
here?
you say no? I want to go there again, like because that's what you choose.
Well, the first time I came here, I was with my mom, and we were just on vacation for a week.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people spoke English whenever we were here.
In Tokushima?
No, in Tokyo and Kyoto. So it was very good. I had an easy time getting around.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year when I came, I went to Osaka to get to Tokushima.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a really hard time communicating with people.
Reality hit you.
Reality
Yeah,
hits
the
you,
reality
yeah.
that like
Damn, you're in
English isn't
Japan.
the first language here hits you. And like it makes you motivated to want to learn the language.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
And so since then, you've been learning Japanese by yourself while in Canada? Has it been an ongoing process, or has it been like a revision, jumping back into Japan?
Last year?
Last year, I didn't know a word. I didn't know how to say "I'm good" in
Okay.
Japanese.
Which is now?
Genki desu.
That's good. Just checking.
Nice.
Checking.
Just checking, just making sure she's making her homework. Yeah, I have to say, and one thing that to be honest, I haven't been like in big cities. The whole time I have been in Tokushima, I only spent around 4 hours in Tokyo, and I almost puke because it was just too much
so
people.
many people.
Yeah,
it's
and
crazy
Human
how
tidal
many
waves.
people.
yeah, and I spent 2 days in Kyoto, and I have to admit it was beautiful, and I would like to go there again because it was a really nice experience. But in Tokushima, I can say that even though they don't speak English, which to me is okay,
fair enough.
still
It's
it's
fair,
fair enough. They still look for ways of helping you.
Oh, of
always,
course.
always.
It's amazing how
Yeah,
much
it's amazing.
and how friendly people are.
It's
And I'm
amazing.
Canadian.
Oh my
known
god!
for being
Yeah, when a
friendly.
Canadian says
the
you're
friendliest
nice,
country in the
that takes
world.
you to another level.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But just being here, I feel motivated to practice my Japanese more, try and communicate with people, learn
Yeah.
more about them.
Definitely.
I'm still having a very hard time.
You're doing good though.
Okay, thank
Just
you.
like 2 weeks so far. You're doing good.
Yeah, I understand that when your mother language is English and you're going to another place and you have to learn another language, it's a little bit harder because your brain is already set in English. And switching from your mother language to another language can be hard because your brain is always going to choose the easiest. But in case of other people like Russian guys or me, that we already have to make the extra effort of speaking in English, going to Japanese is not, I'm already making an effort, so let's make just a little bit more. But in your case, guys, like you have your mother language, like you think in this language and everything.
Course, yeah.
So it's quite, like you have to make an extra effort to get out of your comfort zone, maybe. Yeah.
Like the first week, I think the comfort zone is really pushed to the limit.
Oh,
but
yeah,
like
yeah, of
after a
course.
while,
Adaptation.
Yeah.
You get used to it. Yeah.
you get used to it and you feel comfortable. No
Yeah,
problem.
You just don't even notice it after a while. It just becomes so natural.
Yeah.
But I'd say, like, from my perspective, we have the easy way up because right now we're the only 2 volunteers out of 8 who actually have English as a native language.
Exactly, yeah.
All other 6, like including yourself, Himana,
Yeah.
it's your second language. Your first is Spanish, there's Russian, there's Turkish.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different
Hungarian.
language. Hungarian, which
Yeah.
is Hungary. But we all communicate in English. So
Exactly.
for us, we have the easiest way out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we're
I mean,
spoiled
still
in that
struggle
way.
with
You're
our
a little bit
language.
spoiled, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you
and then I have a
are.
friend, like, he's Russian, and he explains it in Russian. There's such a vast vocabulary of words.
Yeah.
And just one word will explain one thing. Whereas in English, I have to explain a whole sentence. And then he'd ask me, what is this word? I'm like, I don't even know. He even knows in Russian. And it's like, So it's interesting, and we have those experiences.
Yeah, and also we have another volunteer who is also learning English. Like he has no Japanese and he's learning English. Even though he's in Japan, his studies right now are focusing in English which is like really challenging. Yeah, but it's like a really nice soup of cultures and languages what we have at the bridge, isn't it?
Bit of a blender,
Yeah, definitely. And I hope that's one of the things that brought you here back to Tokushima.
Yeah, Canada is really diverse, and you get so many different types of people and different languages, but like to make yourself actually go out and talk to people who aren't your same ethnicity, like it's really cool. And then you get to work with them every day, and you learn how to break down cultural barriers.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like I think it was you, Mitch, that the idea you had about Russian just went completely down when you met the Russian guys here.
Of course, especially for Australia, because I never met any Russians in Australia. It's very, very... There, of course, there's a population of Russians, but I never met any.
Okay.
And so, like, from my family's perspective and the news we'll hear, it's like, oh, Russians, I wouldn't trust the Russians. And then, like, I come to Japan, the first Russian I meet, the first day was amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It definitely breaks down a lot of barriers.
Yeah, definitely
We come here
does.
to learn about Japan, but we have such an international group that we learn a lot.
Yeah, definitely. It's really, really nice. And as we met really good people, everybody's really different. There was a point where we had 4 Russian, and all of them were completely different.
And different parts of Russia too.
So
that's interesting really cool. With like us. We're both from English-speaking countries with very similar kind of histories and backgrounds, and yet I feel there's still a lot of differences between us. Things I say and we talk about and what we relate to. It's like, what are you talking about? And so if we're speaking English, it's like, no, I don't understand a word.
We actually look it up on the internet to explain it to each other.
So that's funny that we have that experience.
Yeah, definitely. Even though you were both colonized, like different sounds that were colonized, but the same country, and you kind of have the same thing with the immigrants and the story. It's quite similar, but it still is really different. So let's talk about that.
We can come back after the song. We can discuss a bit about Japan, Australia, and Japan.
Exactly.
Cool.
So we're gonna make a break and play a song, and after that we're gonna talk about the differences between Australia and Canada and see how it goes.
Fantastic.
Sushi, Sumo,
Welcome back, everybody.
Hope you enjoyed the music.
It was fantastic.
So, since we have Canada and Australia, I would like to know, because personally I haven't visited those places yet, and maybe some people in the audience are planning to go to Australia or to Canada. And can you talk a little bit about how it is, like the weather and the wildlife? So what can we expect there if we go? Let's start with Canada.
Bring a winter jacket. I was just talking to my sister, and she said it was snowing. It is June.
What?
Snowing,
Yes.
and it's like almost summer.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Why? Why you live there?
It's too much sometimes. But anyway, we have like we have winter from like November until apparently June now.
Wow. Most of the year. So you have what, 2 months of summer?
2 or 3, depending on how lucky we are.
Exactly.
And we have lots of nice winter activities like skiing, snowing, snowboarding, eating ice cream.
I think of eggnog.
Oh, eggnog is fantastic.
I've only ever drinking it from a carton in Australia. I don't know what fresh one tastes like.
Good.
Okay.
I think of
It's
fireplaces,
so sweet.
red wine. Yep.
So good.
That's
You guys have to try it.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, when you're freezing, I think
I drink it in the summer.
So how do you make eggnog?
Summer is like probably it's the cold, like colder than my rainy season in Costa Rica. So yeah.
I'm not sure how to make it, by the way.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. So what about the wildlife? Because I believe that Canada is the second largest country in the world.
It is behind Russia.
Yeah, which is also really cold.
So Canada, I live mostly in the cities. So I live on the East Coast, and we only have raccoons, beavers, seals. We don't have much.
Do you have dogs and cats?
Sometimes,
Okay.
if we're lucky.
That's good.
Okay.
Okay.
Because they usually
If they don't
freeze.
freeze.
Yeah.
They usually freeze.
We had to bring them in for the winter.
Oh, okay.
We
Just
let
for
them
the
all
winter.
free.
Outside.
Like,
Yeah.
they're all wild.
Oh, I see.
So,
Do you have any wolves?
yeah, in
Yeah.
the West Coast.
Ah,
So,
West Coast.
that's
in
cool.
Like near
Alberta,
Alaska? Not that
kinda.
far. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
like Rocky Mountain area. There's wolves, there's bears. Anything can attack you, and it's fantastic.
Have you ever seen... You've never been to that area? West... You've never been there?
No, I lived there.
Oh, I see.
before.
Have you seen wild wolves? Like, have you seen...
Yeah, I would go on camping trips, and
Oh,
you would
cool.
hear them at night.
Like the full, like, what like werewolf kind of...
Oh,
full
it
moon.
scared me so much,
That
and everyone
sounds
else would
like
be
Russia, but when you can speak in English.
and maple syrup.
And
I'll make
syrup.
possible. Yeah, of course. It's instead of vodka.
Oh yeah, that's what we do.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. So,
Okay, interesting. Okay.
American Russia and now...
Alright, so opposite side of the world, southern
yeah.
hemisphere, total opposite. I never saw snow in my life until I came to Japan. I saw snow in the mountains. So snow is, well, for me, like a dream. It was just to even touch and feel snow, make a snowman, put carrots in his face, all that kind of thing. But there is some places it does snow. The highest mount is Mount Kosciuszko, which is like 2,200 meters. And apparently, I don't believe it, but actually more snow falls on there than the Swiss Alps somehow. But
What?
most Australians say that skiing and snowboarding is not as good as Japan. So I've never
Yeah.
been there, and it's really expensive.
Okay.
That's the only mountain I think it really is for snow. Other than that, 60% of Australia is desert. And
so
so
we
hot.
go from an ice cube to...
well, just like a
the
big...
hottest place on
exactly.
Earth.
We are the driest
Okay.
continent on Earth, including all the Polynesian islands, apparently.
Thank you.
We are very dry. And so most of the population, 90% of the population, live on the coastline, which is where I live, Brisbane. And if you go in Central Australia, you won't be seeing much. Of course, Ayers Rock is right in the middle. Everyone knows Ayers Rock, which is at the longest point, 8 kilometres wide at the top.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Oh,
people
I've heard
ask me,
about
people ask me about going hiking. It's like you cannot climb Ayers Rock. It's been banned for more, I think someone should check, more than 15 years. So maybe like 50 years ago you could climb it, but because it's in like Aboriginal, how we say, it's a very, 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 very
it's
sacred
an
place.
original sacred place.
Definitely.
Yeah, it makes
that they
sense.
finally passed legislation that
You cannot climb it.
yeah, exactly. It prohibits climbing. So you can go and watch the sunrise or the sunset, which would be amazing. I've actually never been there personally, so I don't know what it's like.
Yeah.
That's
what
right in the
animals
middle.
do you have?
Coyotes.
Wow, we have
Dingoes.
a lot. We have a lot. Yeah, dingoes. Yep, dingoes is like kind of like a desert version of a wolf. Imagine that. And they
Okay.
look like the color of the desert, so they can blend in very well. And they survive almost anywhere. My family used to have like a half dingo. So it was a half blue cattle dog, Dingo. So she looked like a dingo, but she was like a beautiful dog.
I think I saw one when I was there.
You might have seen, yeah.
Yeah.
They
They're
are kind
dangerous?
of, the wild ones are, and we have like a bit of a joke that this one stole like a backpacker's couple's baby once. And very, very old Australians listening would know this. So Dingo stole my baby.
Dingo stole my baby,
Yeah, but they can
okay.
be aggressive, and there's attacks on Fraser Island, like people have been bitten. I wouldn't say they're as aggressive as wolves, but they can be a bit vicious, you know. Yeah.
And they also work like in groups, like the wolves, or
I'm
they
actually
are
not
alone.
sure. I think they probably can be, but they cover like vast areas, so they can spread out a lot and they run around. So that's like one type of dog that's very common. Other than that, of course, there's emus. We have lots of emus.
One attacked my mom recently. It was
What?
fantastic.
An emu?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah,
That's
for
pretty
the
accurate,
audience.
'cause they have big.
Just a second, for the audience. Recently, Shannon went to Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it wasn't
true.
just like suddenly one came to Canada. We went on
Well,
vacation.
I've seen emus in Japan,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, so your
Yeah.
mom
My
was
mom's
attacked-
okay, by the way.
Okay,
Oh, that's
good.
good. Okay, I'm glad
Everybody, everything's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
And actually, emus, the fastest recorded speed for one, because they're quite big, has been 45 kilometres an hour.
What?
That's an emu. So if you try and think you can run away from one, if you're being chased, there's very little chance.
Yeah.
It's like a bear. Like a desert
Yeah,
bear.
you shouldn't. You just
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
just pick a god and pray.
Yeah. And so...
Try and
other
play
than that-
hide and seek with it.
They
Yeah.
have very long necks.
Yeah.
I think that would still get you in the tree,
Yeah,
if there is any trees. And
because
so...
it's the desert.
Yeah, we have bushes, a lot of bushes and scrubs.
They are taller than that.
Oh, yeah, a lot taller. And then you have snakes,
Depends
spiders.
on the emu.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Getting
That's
off
all
topic.
right. And everyone knows about kangaroos. They're probably the most, other than koalas, the most famous image of Australia. And we have like the grey kangaroo, which is more common. Like where I live, I can walk about 10 minutes and I can see kangaroos. And they're not dangerous at all. They're very cute. They just mind their own business, eat grass and jump around. And
That sounds so nice.
Yeah, they are very nice. And actually also too...
Can you touch them?
Oh, in the zoos, yeah. I say in the zoos you can go up and pat them, but in the wild they're a bit scared.
Okay,
And so
okay.
you would
They
get
will
near
just
them.
run away. They won't attack you. They will just
exactly,
run away.
yeah.
Okay.
And they run very fast, and so the longest jump recorded by, because they actually jump on like their two legs and their tail. Their tail is almost like a third leg, extremely strong.
Okay.
So they use that as like an extra leg to leap. And so
Okay.
the longest recorded jump is 9 meters.
What?
9 meters in one single leap of a kangaroo.
Okay.
So they could jump across the river almost.
Yeah.
That's the longest.
That's
I don't know how they
impressive.
recorded that. Like if they would.
yeah, how did
him.
they record that?
I have no idea. I have to look that up. Find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
But then there's red kangaroos as well, which are desert kangaroos, and they're a bit more aggressive, and they're very
Yeah.
tall. They can be like 170, 188 centimeters.
Wow.
They're big.
So that's wildlife and geography.
And we have more camels in Australia than Egypt.
Oh my god.
Yeah, lots of camels. Not near my home though.
Yeah. Okay, that's a really interesting fact.
So I actually looked up the differences between Canada and Australia. So
In what context?
many contexts, actually.
Okay, let's see.
So, like, country size, Russia comes in first, of course. And Canada came in second for how big it was. And we have, like, 10 provinces and 3 territories.
Okay.
And then Australia actually came in 6.
We're pretty big, yeah.
How many states do you have?
I have 6 states.
Oh.
Yeah. And the capital is Canberra. Most people think it's Sydney. Actually, Canberra is the
Okay.
capital of Australia.
Oh, I've
yeah.
never
Okay,
been
I
there
see.
before.
Yep.
And then, like,
It's-
oh, sorry?
No, it's a city of roundabouts. Lots of roundabouts in Canberra.
Okay.
Roundabout?
A roundabount.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Canada, roundabout.
Sorry,
Okay,
roundabout.
clearly
Okay.
you have some language differences
Jokes.
there and jokes. So, do you feel like since you have been like with this Australian talking a long time, do you feel like the language is really different, even though your mother language is English?
Only a little bit. Like, I don't notice too many differences. Do you?
You say garbage and he says rubbish.
I'd say Garbo.
Garbage.
We had to owe a lot of things. So, for example, if you're going to the gas station, you should call it in Canada. We call it a service station, but we just call it a servo.
I see.
And then, so, a bottle shop, bottle-o. We wouldn't say it,
God,
alcohol,
you're so
liquor shop.
odd.
And, yeah, so, for example, I could say in a sentence, it's say, hey, also, we say women like call shielders. So,
What?
Yeah, so blokes and shielders is guys and girls.
Okay, guys, that sounds really, really, really interesting. But it seems like we almost reached the end of the program, so we're waiting for messages from you with feedback or requests.
Sushi. Sumo. Tokushima.
So, this radio program, Sushi, Sumo, Tokushima, is being recorded live here in B-FM FM in Tokushima. Feedback of today. So, how was the program for you guys?
It was good as
Oh,
gold.
sorry. I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
know.
okay.
Bloody river. It was awesome.
It was
great.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that. So, this program is hosted by volunteer members working with a non-profit organization, Bizan Daikaku. We're open to and accepting any form of support or contributions you have to offer within the local community of Tokushima. Please do not hesitate to contact us if you wish to get involved by email radio@bizandaigaku.net. We are accepting requests and messages via email. Please send emails to request@bfm.jp. Including the title of the show, Sushi, Sumo, Tokushima, in your messages. You can listen to this channel, FM Bizan, on the internet with your PC and smartphones. If you're accessing with your PC, go to the website www.bfm.jp and you will find a pink banner written Sumo Radio on the left side of the page. If you're accessing with your smartphone or tablet, download the application Listen Radio. Then select BFM 791 FM Bizan with the area Chukoku Chikoku. If you're listening to this radio program in an area that has a weak radio wave, don't worry. You can listen to this program with clear sound through this internet radio system. So no one knows what language will be spoken or what kind of topics we will bring up next Thursday. So please don't miss it. Bye bye.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye bye.